Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sure we have some young people on the show today. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Today is the 24th of March, 2026. And I'd just like to welcome you to today's edition of this live stream, the intention is to go through or to read a few chapters of Exodus. And I'm really happy that you're going to join me doing that. Yesterday, we did read chapters 1 to 4 of Exodus. And one thing kind of cropped up that I did say that I was going to have a look at again and talk about it today if there was any need to. And, I did get it right, what I said yesterday about that issue. But let's just have a look at it on the screen because it was when Moses was on his way back to Egypt with his wife Zipporah, and he had spoken, or the Lord had spoken to him and given him instructions and told him to, make his way back to Egypt. And Moses did have quite a few questions, but we've been through that and we spoke about it. But one area that I found interesting was when the Lord said he was going to, what was the word? Let's just have a look at it because it's just best to, let's see what the Lord did say. We're looking at chapter 17. I said 7, yeah, chapter 17, verse, I think we're a bit too early here. Let's go back a bit. Verse, it always helps, 9 to 14. Let's go here. Oh, this isn't a very good start. Verse 24 to 25. Let's see. Yeah. So, kind of got thrown here because I did say, well, it's because he forgot to circumcise his son. But let me just read the verses that brought up some curiosity. 24. At a lodging place on the way, the Lord met him and sought to put him to death. Then Zipporah took a flint and cut off her son's foreskin and touched Moses' feet with it and said, "Surely you are a bridegroom of blood to me." That's an interesting statement there. But I did say yesterday, I said this must have been because Moses had forgotten to circumcise his son. And I was like, how could he forget to do that? And the reason why I expressed that surprise was because Abraham, as we will see back in Genesis, the Lord made a covenant with Abraham of circumcision. So, the Hebrews had been doing that all the way from Abraham's time. But Moses forgot and his wife saved his life. That was very, I can only say absent-minded by Moses to do that, to kindle such anger from the Lord. And his wife said, I think it's pretty, when the wife says, "Surely you are a bridegroom of blood to me," which I would assume means like, marrying you, there's a lot of danger, because blood would have been involved here. So, and obviously he ran away from Egypt because Pharaoh was seeking him for the murder he committed of an Egyptian. But it'd be good to refresh our memory about the covenant of circumcision that God made with Abraham. So that's in Genesis chapter 17, verses 9 to 14. So why don't we just have a read of that? Let me get this in frame. There we go. I'm just going to read verses 9 to 14. And God said to Abraham, As for you, you shall keep my covenant, you and your offspring, after you throughout their generations. This is my covenant which you shall keep between me and you and your offspring after you. Every male among you shall be circumcised. You shall be circumcised in the flesh of your foreskins, and it shall be a sign of the covenant between me and you. He who is 8 days old among you shall be circumcised, which basically means that a child should be circumcised by the time they're 8 days old. No ifs, no buts. So easy to lose where you are here. Where was I? Yeah, every male among you shall be circumcised. You shall be circumcised in the flesh of your foreskins, and it shall be a sign of the covenant between me and you. He who is 8 days old among you shall be circumcised. Every male throughout your generations, whether born in your house or bought with your money, from any foreigner who is not of your offspring. Both the who is born in your house and he who is bought with your money shall surely be circumcised. Let me just read that again. Both he who is born in your house and he who is bought with your money shall surely be circumcised. So shall my covenant be in your flesh, an everlasting covenant. Any uncircumcised male who is not circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin shall be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant. So it's quite clear there that the Lord sees circumcision for his people to be a very, very important thing. So why Moses forgot to do that to his own son can only be described as being kind of careless, but his wife was there and she saved him and the day. So I suppose it helps to marry a wife that knows what's going on. A wife who's there to support you and to make things right when you've made a mistake. That always does help, So I think there's a proverb in Psalms. No, there's a proverb in Proverbs, obviously, and it talks about a prudent wife. Why don't we just read that? Actually, I might just have it here. Yes, I do. I have it tabbed, ready to go. Where is it? Yeah, it's in Proverbs 19. I think I can give it to you guys here. I'm not making this up. Proverbs 19:14. Here it is. It says, "House and wealth are inherited from fathers, but a prudent wife is from the Lord." An easy interpretation of that is when you want to get married, you pray to the Lord and ask him to give you a wife. And the Lord will give you a prudent wife. When I came across that, I just said to myself, okay. It makes sense though, doesn't it? Because it's a minefield out there. And if you've come into the Lord's domain, how would you know what woman you're going to get married to? Because as I said, it's a minefield out there. How would you know? How would you know what wife to choose? So we're told in Proverbs 19, was it 19:17? I believe, 19:14, that you can inherit a house and wealth from your father, but a prudent wife is from the Lord. So that just about covers it though, doesn't it, really? And who wouldn't want a prudent wife? So that's something to look forward to for all you young men out there who are yet to get married. You think about it, if the Lord gives you a wife or presents you with a wife or seeks a wife out for you from the pool that is out there, what more can one ask for? What would you be arguing about? What would you be unhappy for? What would not work in that marriage? I know you can go back to Adam and Eve and stuff like that, but you have to remember, how can I say this? You have to remember what happened, but maybe Adam could have dealt with the scenario differently. Okay, rather than, eating the fruit as well as his wife said, okay, you've made a mistake. I was there. I didn't do anything. Let's wait for the Lord to come. And we tell him, but he ate as well. And that just compounded everything. But yeah, let's focus on today. And if you follow the Proverbs 19:14, that's what the Lord has told us, words of wisdom. So it's worth thinking about it. When you've made that move, when you moved out from the darkness into the light, you're obeying the Lord's commandments. You've knocked on the door, that door's been open to you, and you've been blessed. Blessed. I keep saying blessed. Baptized with the Holy Spirit. And you say to yourself, I need a wife. I want to make a family. I'm lonely. Go to the Lord and he will give you a prudent wife. Pray. So like I said, it's crazy out there in the world currently, isn't it? All these wars going on. But let's not get too controversial, but it's something worth mentioning. We've seen the politicians, everything seems from one battle to another, from one lie to another. It's just, we can only show compassion for the people who have lost their lives. And if things continue the way that they're going, for the people who are going to lose their lives over, what seems to be a lie. But we're going to focus on Genesis chapters 5-4. And I think things are going to get quite interesting because, did I say Genesis? I meant Exodus. So let me just find on this, here we go, chapter 5, verse 5, yeah. So, I think things are going to get interesting. And as I usually do, I'm going to read through the chapter. And if anything crops up, we can talk about it. And if there's anything that I feel needs a further explanation, I'll do so. And if not, we just read through. Funny enough, I was listening to my to some of the live streams that I did for Genesis, and then I found it for myself actually a nice sort of like listening to my voice, but listening to my voice, reading through the various chapters, and I don't know, I just felt happy inside of me that my time had been used in such a way, and I'm hoping that other people would find that, just having somebody read through it to them, somebody just like me, so I can't explain how I felt, but I felt really nice inside of me. I thought, oh, that is really cool. I hope, as I just said, people find it useful. So, let's crack on with chapter 5 of Genesis. Afterward, Moses and Aaron went and said to Pharaoh, "Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, let my people go, that they may hold a feast to me in the wilderness." But Pharaoh said, "Who is the Lord that I should obey his voice and let Israel go. I do not know the Lord, and moreover, I will not let Israel go. Then they said, the God of the Hebrews has met with us. Please let us go a 3 days' journey into the wilderness that we may sacrifice to the Lord our God, lest he fall upon us with pestilence or with the sword. But the king of Egypt said to them, Moses and Aaron, why do you take the people away from their work? Get back to your burdens. And Pharaoh said, behold, the people of the land are now many, and you make them rest from their burdens. The same day Pharaoh commanded the taskmasters of the people and their foremen, you shall no longer give the people straw to make bricks, as in the past. Let them go and gather straw for themselves. But the number of bricks that they made in the past you shall impose on them. You shall by no means reduce it, for they are idle. Therefore they cry, let us go and offer sacrifice to our God. Let heavier work be laid on them, that they may labor at it and pay no regard to lying words. So he obviously doesn't believe a word that he's been told. So the taskmasters and the foremen of the people went out and said to the people, thus says Pharaoh, I will not give you straw. Go and get your straw yourselves, wherever you can find it. But your work will not be reduced in the least. So the people were scattered throughout all the land of Egypt to gather stubble for straw. The taskmasters were urgent, saying, complete your work, your daily task each day, as when there was straw. And the foremen of the people of Israel, whom Pharaoh's taskmasters had set over them, were beaten and were asked, why have you not done all your task of making bricks today and yesterday as in the past? Then the foremen of the people of Israel came and cried to Pharaoh, why do you treat your servants like this? No straw is given to your servants, yet they say to us, make bricks. And behold, your servants are beaten, but the fault is in their own people. But he said, you are idle. You are idle. That is why you say, let us go and sacrifice to the Lord. Go now and work. No straw will be given you, but you must still deliver the same number of bricks. The foremen of the people of Israel saw that they were in trouble when they said, you shall by no means reduce your number of bricks, your daily tasks each day. They met Moses and Aaron, who were waiting for them, as they came out from Pharaoh. And they said to them, the Lord look on you and judge, because you have made us stink in the sight of Pharaoh and his servants, and have put a sword in their hand to kill us. Then Moses turned to the Lord and said, O Lord, why have you done evil to this people? Why did you ever send me? For since I came to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has done evil to the people, and you have not delivered your people at all. Chapter 6. I know one could sort of say, why is Moses? Because Moses seemed to be kind of reluctant. Maybe because, from what I can tell, his character was probably on the quiet side of things, or probably he was lacking some confidence in a way. But he really does seem to ask a lot of questions and expresses a bit of doubt in himself. I don't think his doubt comes from him doubting what the Lord would do, but the Lord said, no problem, Aaron will speak on your behalf, but you will also guide Aaron. And I suppose it's quite a responsibility that he sees himself in. And sometimes a burden can be quite heavy. He's just a man, flesh and bone. But, God is backing him. So, I can't say he should have known better, but it's interesting how he questions and seems to be doubtful, or seems to lack what's the right word? Seems to lack I wouldn't say confidence, seems to be sort of insecure maybe. Yeah. But let's see what Exodus 6 holds. But the Lord said to Moses, now you shall see what... Okay, so the Lord had other things planned. Fair enough. Now you shall see what I will do to Pharaoh, for with a strong hand he will send them out, and with a strong hand he will drive them out of his land. God spoke to Moses and said to him, I am the Lord. I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, and as God Almighty. But by my name, the Lord, I did not make myself known to them. I also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land in which they lived as sojourners. Moreover, I have heard the groaning of the people of Israel, whom the Egyptians hold as slaves, and I have remembered my covenant. Say therefore to the people of Israel, I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. And I will deliver you from slavery to them, and I will redeem you with an outstretched arm and with great acts of judgment. I will take you to be my people, and I will be your God, and you shall know that I am the Lord your God, who has brought you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. I will bring you into the land that I swore to give to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. I will give it to you for a possession. I am the Lord. Moses spoke thus to the people of Israel, but they did not listen to Moses because of their broken spirit and harsh slavery. So the Lord said to Moses, go in, tell Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to let the people of Israel go out of his land. But Moses said to the Lord, behold, the people of Israel have not listened to me. How then shall Pharaoh listen to me? For I am of uncircumcised lips. But the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron and gave them a charge about the people of Israel and about Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to bring the people of Israel out of the land of Egypt. These are the heads of their fathers' houses, the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel: Hanok, Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. These are the clans of Reuben. The sons of Simeon: Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zohar, and Shaul, the son of a Canaanite woman. These are the clans of Simeon. These are the names of the sons of Levi according to their generations: Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The years of the life of Levi being 137 years. The sons of Gershon, Libni and Shimei, by their clans. The sons of Kohath, Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel. The years of the life of Kohath being 133 years. The sons of Merari, Mali, Mushi. These are the clans of the Levites according to their generations. Amram took as a wife Jochebed, his father's sister, and bore him Aaron and Moses. The years of the life of Amram being 137 years. The sons of Izhar, Korah, Nepheg, and Zikri. The sons of Uzziel, Mishael, Elzaphan, and Zithri. Aaron took as a wife Elisheba, the daughter of Aminadab, and the sister of Nahshon, and she bore him Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithmar. The sons of Korah, Asher, Elkanah, and Abiasaph. These are the clans of the Korahites. Eleazar, Aaron's son, took as a wife one of the daughters of Putiel, and bore him Phinehas. These are the heads of the fathers' houses of the Levites by their clans. These are the Aaron and Moses to whom the Lord said, "Bring out the people of Israel from the land of Egypt by their hosts." It was they who spoke to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, about bringing out the people of Israel from Egypt, this Moses and this Aaron. On the day when the Lord spoke to Moses in the land of Egypt, the Lord said to Moses, "I am the Lord. Tell Pharaoh, king of Egypt, all that I say to you." But Moses said to the Lord, "Behold, I am of uncircumcised lips. How will Pharaoh listen to me?" I wonder what uncircumcised lips mean. That's kind of an interesting idiom. I've never come across it before. There's a section in Isaiah that I've just located. Let's see if that throws some light. Isaiah 17:5. And I said, "Woe is me, for I am lost, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips, for my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts." I see. That's interesting. It's an interesting idiom. I'm sure if one Googled it, but I would hasten the chance to say, if you're uncircumcised, I'm following the Bible here. I'm not judging people who are not circumcised. We're just dealing with the Bible. You're unclean. Okay? So when you become circumcised, you're clean. So if Moses says, "I am of uncircumcised lips," how will Pharaoh listen to me? It's like he's probably saying, "I'm not ready. I don't have that cleanness, that status, that Pharaoh will pay me some respect." I think it's something like that, something around that line of thinking, because when we look at Isaiah here, it says, "And I said, woe is me, for I am lost, for I am a man of unclean lips." If the lips are unclean, then they're dirty, aren't they? And I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips, for my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. Yeah, probably not ready. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Chapter 7, Exodus. I'm just wondering, I suppose, in a way, it's not a sign of weakness to be. How can you? It cannot be a sign of weakness if you're in the presence of God, is it? I mean, the Lord created us in His image, and He created everything here. And the Lord knows who you are. and the Lord knows why he chose you. So doesn't that in itself give one confidence? It should do, but yeah, I suppose it's a scenario for Moses, isn't it? But it's interesting how he comes up with these various things. But I think one should see it as, or I'm seeing it as, not as a sign of weakness, but as something, as a man who needs to be encouraged, needs to be made to feel, you're ready for this. I am the Lord, your God. You are my people. I have your back. Don't worry about it. You see? Yeah, that's how I would say. But we can all learn from this. This is the good thing, about it. When you have the Lord in your life, and the Lord does tell us. I did read Psalm 91. I read it 2 shows back, where the Lord says, don't worry, you're in my shadow. I will protect you. Okay, I will take you away, or I'll make you will avoid all those obstacles that are put in your path. Okay, so that's what the Lord is telling us. So for us, we can read about Moses, but we can be confident in ourselves that the Lord is with us. He's blessed us and he's put us in his shadow, as we are told in Psalms 91. So if ever you have any doubt, if ever you feel like, oh, what is going on? I don't want to leave my house right now. I'm afraid. Read Psalm 91, and that will give you the energy, the encouragement, and the knowledge that you know that the Lord is protecting you. The Lord is with you. You are in the Lord's shadow. Okay? So let's see what chapter 7 has for us. Oh, big hello to our live viewers on Twitch. You're welcome. And a big hello to nobody on YouTube at the moment. And I'd like to say, please, if you enjoy what you're listening to, if you've been following the show but haven't felt the need to become a follower or to leave a comment, I double dare you. Press the follow button. You get notified when there's a new live stream or a new video appearing. I haven't done any videos yet. I do have one up. And I would encourage you to read it. It's one of the first live streams that I ever did that I converted into a video. You can find it on YouTube under videos. And because they separate live streams and videos that you upload. So please do go and watch that video whenever you have the time. The title is, I'm paraphrasing, is what are Christians worshipping? God or Satan? So I thought it was just good to sort of like, it's one of my early live streams, but I thought it was just about good enough to convert or to edit and upload it. So please have a look at it. It just sort of like, as the title entails, if you are sort of like wondering, what's going on, what am I doing, that video might throw some more light on the situation that we currently are in. Okay, so yes, like and follow. Okay, you don't need to subscribe. I've not got any subscriptions going on, but just press that follow button. Let's boost the algorithm, yeah? Okay, chapter 7. And the Lord said to Moses, I see I have made you like God to Pharaoh, and your brother Aaron shall be your prophet. You shall speak all that I command you, and your brother Aaron shall tell Pharaoh to let the people of Israel go. As I said, I didn't even know that this was saying. Now the Lord is sort of, should I say, encouraging, telling Moses what the situation is and telling him what he should do. And he shouldn't be concerned about it, giving him the minutiae of this is what you need to do, to give Moses the encouragement that he needs. I'm just going to start that again. And the Lord said to Moses, see, I have made you like God to Pharaoh, and your brother Aaron shall be your prophet. You shall speak all that I command you, and your brother Aaron shall tell Pharaoh to let the people of Israel go out of his land. But I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and though I multiply my signs and wonders in the land of Egypt, Pharaoh will not listen to you. Then I will lay my hand on Egypt and bring my hosts, my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great acts of judgment. The Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord when I stretch out my hand against Egypt and bring out the people of Israel from among them. Moses and Aaron did so. They did just as the Lord commanded them. Do you remember when we read about Saul and the Amaleks, and he didn't do as the Lord commanded him when the Lord said destroy them all? He didn't, and he kept some bits aside and was making excuses for himself. And the Lord said, look, you don't obey my orders, you don't obey what I've told you to do, what I've commanded you to do. And he said, your son will not inherit the crown. And he passed that crown on to David. And he's specifically telling Moses here in verse 6, or we're being told what Moses and Aaron done. He said, or we're told that Moses and Aaron did so. They did just as the Lord commanded them. Now Moses was 80 years old and Aaron 83 years old when they spoke to Pharaoh. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, when Pharaoh says to you, prove yourself by working a miracle, then you shall say to Aaron, take your staff and cast it down before Pharaoh, that it may become a serpent. So Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and did just as the Lord commanded. Aaron cast down his staff before Pharaoh and his servants, and it became a serpent. Then Pharaoh summoned the wise men and the sorcerers, and they, the magicians of Egypt, also did the same by their secret arts. For each man cast down his staff, and they became serpents. But Aaron's staff swallowed up their staffs. Still Pharaoh's heart was hardened. He would not listen to them, as the Lord had said. Then the Lord said to Moses, Pharaoh's heart is hardened. He refuses to let the people go. Go to Pharaoh in the morning as he is going out to the water. Stand on the bank of the Nile to meet him and take in the staff that turned into a serpent. And you shall say to him, the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, sent me to you saying, let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness. but so far you have not obeyed. Thus says the Lord, by this you shall know that I am the Lord. Behold, with the staff that is in my hand, I will strike the water that is in the Nile, and it shall turn to blood. The fish in the Nile shall die, and the Nile will stink. And the Egyptians will grow weary of drinking water from the Nile. And the Lord said to Moses, say to Aaron, take your staff and stretch out your hand over the waters of Egypt, over their rivers, their canals, and their ponds, and all their pools of water, so that they may become blood. And there shall be blood throughout all the land of Egypt, even in vessels of wood and in vessels of stone. Moses and Aaron did as the Lord commanded, in the sight of Pharaoh and in the sight of his servants. He lifted up the staff and struck the water in the Nile, and all the water in the Nile turned into blood. And the fish in the Nile died, and the Nile stank, so that the Egyptians could not drink water in the Nile. There was blood throughout all the land of Egypt. But the magicians of Egypt did the same by their secret arts. So Pharaoh's heart remained hardened, and he would not listen to them, as the Lord had said. Pharaoh turned and went into his house, and he did not take even this to heart. And all the Egyptians dug along the Nile for water to drink, for they could not drink the water of the Nile. 7 full days passed after the Lord had struck the Nile. Right, that went just exactly as I thought it would, time-wise. I think that was a very interesting few chapters that we read there, and I hope you found it as interesting as I did. And I really look forward to continuing this series tomorrow. As I said, up until the end of this month, I'll be live streaming every weekday. So I'm looking forward to it now, and I hope to be starting around about the same time. So thank you for joining me. It's been great having you guys. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. So I wish you a great rest of the day, and I look forward to the live stream of tomorrow. Take care now, and good night.